Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to do the second composition or the second strategy on beating Spider 20 on auto. In this version of Spider 20 Explained, I'm going to let you know how to best build a weak affinity tank composition and what that entails, what that exactly means, the champions that you can use, and some general useful tips and tricks to improve your spider runs. If you didn't watch the last video, this is going to be a little bit of a repeat, but like I said, there is one thing you can do that has nothing to do with the spider itself or even artifacts that you can do to immediately and forever improve your spider runs, improve your level, improve your times, and improve your win rate. And that is your Great Haul. Your Great Haul you win through medals that you achieve killing opponents in the arena. What does that have to do with Spider 20? Well, let me tell you this. A lot of people find that at the beginning it is very difficult to do two things: get the kind of damage they need to kill the spider and to have the accuracy they need to land their debuffs effectively on the spider, your weaken and your defense down. Well, they're right here. An accuracy banner that you have to farm in the spider to beat the spider, a 5-star one is 78. If you can farm these medals to get your accuracy of whichever champion you need to do that defense down or that weaken, if you can farm that, it's right here. Now, I know it's difficult to get an accuracy of 80 right away. That is a lot of medals and it requires a lot of time in the arena. But what I'm telling you is, if you every day make sure that you maximize the amount of tokens or medals you get from the arena, you do not let a single coin go to waste. If you're farming, whether it's you're farming gold or bronze or silver, right up to gold 4 or even platinum, no matter what level you are in, it is always better to farm the gold at your maximum ability and efficiency than it is to not use the medal at all. I made that mistake and now I'm playing a great catch-up game. I have some great champions and I'm in a desperate race to try to fill up these numbers because I don't have in my case, the resist I need to compete at the higher levels of the arena. But for Spider 20, it's exactly the accuracy and crit damage. So even if you just focus getting them to level 7, that's a plus 50 accuracy without doing a thing. You put on an accuracy set, a 2-piece set, that's another 50, and so suddenly you're at 100 of about the 185 to 200 you need. Same with crit damage. Maybe you can't get up to here, which is 25% crit damage, but even if you can get to here, 12-15%, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Keep that in mind. So keep that in mind when building your champion, is that maybe what you need to do is not try to get new artifacts. Maybe you already have the artifacts you need to be able to progress. Get into that arena, do it every day, level up your Great Haul, and you'll find that things become easier and easier. So let's talk about the weak affinity tank strategy. This is the most widely used and widely, I would say, recommended version, because this allows you to build champions. Sorry, I'm going to do one thing first. This allows you to build champions that are specifically geared around the mechanics of the game. The mechanics of the game state that unless there is a killable champion or a champion with considerably less or considerably more vulnerable, and that includes buffs, that includes just HP, the opponent, the AI, will always attack the weak affinity to itself. In the case of Spider 20, that is a spirit affinity champion, therefore weak affinity is force. There are conditions. For example, if you had a low HP a low HP cold heart, if you're at 26,000 HP, 25,000 HP, a lot of the times it will actually switch from the force affinity tank to the lower HP, even though it's a weak affinity versus a neutral affinity thing. Strong affinity also plays a part, so you can have lower health on a strong affinity and it won't attack it, whereas it's a neutral affinity, it may attack it, and if it is a weak affinity, it should attack it. And that's kind of the general gist of how we build these champions. As far as what force affinity champion, you want to use a champion that is a force champion, that is HP or defensive based, and that you can load HP on. The more HP, the more likely it is to survive. The lower the HP, the more reliance you have on reducing the turn meter and killing the spiderlings so that you do not take as much incoming damage. And we have variants of both of that I've built here for you today so that I can show you both versions. The best champion that I have actually found to be the weak affinity tank is one that I haven't built on this account, but it's been widely regarded, and that is of the demon spawn race, and it is Nezana. I have Nezana, I just haven't built her up. She is an HP based champion that starts at 21,000 HP. She is a force affinity champion, and therefore she is going to be the weak affinity champ. And the other thing I like about her is she attacks all enemies, which means every time she takes a turn to attack, she's going to have 12 opportunities to hit her War Master, and her War Master is going to heal her up. That is how this works. That is the best part. She also puts a shield on herself and an ally protect, so she's got some other abilities that are nice too, but it's all about that one ability. What I'm going to do for you today, because I didn't want to use some of the usual suspects, is I'm actually going to use War Chief. Now, it's not that I think a lot of you will have War Chief. You probably won't, but he is a defense-based champion. He's got a reasonably high amount of HP, and I can load him up with HP so that he has the survivability and is able to tank the spiderlings. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you 3 different compositions of this. 4 compositions of this. I might cut the actual time down. I'm not sure. I'll play it as we go. We'll see how long this goes. So we go into the spider. We go into spider 20. Keep in mind, like other times, that if you were trying to get through 19, 18, 17, the same rules apply, just with a different champion. 18 would be is magic. So you want to have a spirit affinity champion. Molly is perfect for getting past that stage. You see 1628, obviously I had Molly, and it took a little while, but I got past it. Also keep in mind, most of the stages you can manual, so you only have to get through it once. Stage 19 is a force affinity, so you're going to want someone like a Tyrell. Miscreated Monster should be an excellent option for this. Just a champion that's going to take that damage. Sorry. But in this case, we're talking about Spider 20 on it. Auto, therefore it is a spirit affinity, and therefore you want a force affinity tank. So this is the team I'm going to use in the first one. A little preview of what I've been trying in the second one. So what we have here is we have basic elements. I have a defense down. I could easily put a defense down and weaken like a Venus or a Dracomorph, but I wanted to go with this because I want to show you what a lot more people are going to have, and that's it is always best to have an AoE defense down and or weaken, because that means the spiderlings are going to die more often too. But if you don't have that, even having a single targeted, just make sure that that is the priority. Some champions do not prioritize their defense down. Tyrell does, so he will use his as his first round. I'm bringing Biggin in because he has a turn meter reducer, and he's got an AoE nuke that takes care of spiderlings. He is an absolute he's a joy and a pleasure to have in this comp. Sylar is a turn meter reducer. I bring her in so she can land leaden legs. I have her A3 booked fully, so it's on a 4-turn cooldown, and that allows you to reduce turn meter and put a slow, so they will actually take turns less often. Coldheart is my obvious nuker. She is also going to be there to reduce turn meter every time she nukes. And finally, I've got my War Chief, who I actually just re-geared for the second one, but he's got 48,000 HP, 3,700 defense. Not what I normally build him as, but we're going to see if this works. And let's give it a go. So we're going to get Sylar here. Oh, he's a little bit faster, actually. That's surprising. So he's just going to hit whatever. Sylar's going to reduce speed. And you see all those beautiful, beautiful reduced speed hits. So that means the spider's going to hit less often. It means the spider itself is going to go less often. Wins all around. That decreased accuracy is also nice because it will reduce the number of times the poison lands. There you see the nice, and look at all the spiderlings are all nearly down. And you see what happened there because he has War Master on it, and I'll show you his masteries in a minute. And then this is just a rinse repeat. They call it a weak affinity tank method because you are forcing all the damage to funnel in to the one champion, and then you're going to do whatever you can to keep that champion alive. There are different ways to keep this champion alive. You can bring in a healer to heal him. Oh god. Should I be saying oh god that early? You can bring in turn meter reducers which don't allow him to get touched, or you can bring in a shield class like a Miscreated Monster, and we'll bring in the Miscreated Monster, show you how that goes. This is probably going to fail because he lost his Is War Master. Oh, there's his War Master. Woo! And now you can see the problem with this comp is that it doesn't always work. It depends on him being able to land his War Master, which doesn't always happen. Which is why we're going to show you a couple of modifications to this, which will make this a lot more reliable, so you're not relying on that. Also, I would normally probably should have put him in Giant Slayer because he's got a three hit A1, but War Master at 60%, it should be 60% each hit unless it lands, or is it 60% through the 3 hits? I'm not too sure how that works because I haven't really paid much attention, to be honest with you. But it should be more reliable to land and therefore heal him up. This is very similar to Rosin, who has a 3-hit A1. And with Rosin, he has the added bonus that if he lands his A2, it actually includes a weaken. So it's going to make the run a little bit quicker. So there he's healed himself up. It's nice. It's great. We've got, see, there's a turn meter. The spider itself actually hasn't gone because I brought in 4 turn meter reducers, which is why I like this comp, even though I don't have the shield protect. And there you go. So that's a win. I literally just made War Chief 30 minutes ago in this gear. He had totally different gear before, but I'll show you exactly what you want to do to build him. And this goes for any, you can apply this to any champion. You want Lifesteal, so you need 4 Lifesteal sets. I put him in accuracy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just to have so he can taunt. He doesn't have any abilities. I basically was just doing my standard build, and I put Lifesteal, or I put accuracy with it. You'll see my Rosin has the exact same makeup. It's just a habit of mine, I guess, when I'm doing the weak affinity tank to put him in accuracy. He doesn't need accuracy. He just needs 2 other pieces. And what you want is you want HP, but not so much HP that they decide that they don't want to attack him. What I will do is I will do a quick run after this, and I'll show you what happens when you've got too much HP on a champion. So here I've got, the big thing is I haven't fully maxed, I have a few more to go, but I have him in that War Master, and I put him in the defense set to improve his survivability. You could argue to put him in the support set, but in the case of being a weak affinity tank, this is the probably more optimal way for survivability. And I would also, if I had it, I would put him in a resist banner. I don't have the resist banner. I don't think I have, let's see, resist and skinwalkers. Yeah, so I don't have a resist banner equipped or unequipped. That's weird that I must have just not had any luck because I've been selling off my 5-star gear, so I must just have bad luck on that. Also, I want to show you something that is absolutely incredible. I didn't realize that it did it until now. So say I want to change these boots. So we know that we can look at boots, and I say I want to switch them to HP boots. Okay, so now we see that I see a Lifesteal. I see 1 HP at 50%, but say I don't want to use that one. So I go to equipped, and now it'll show you the champions. Oh, there aren't any champion. So say I want to use this one just so we can see it for posterity. I can actually equip it from that champion. Of course, it still makes sure to take the silver off because you're taking out 2 6-stars, so it's 100,000 for that, 100,000 for that. But the fact that you are allowed to do this and that it knows to take it off this champion, put it on you, even when that champion is in your vault, that is absolutely genius. I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad. I thought you could just see and you wouldn't actually be able to swap. So that's a neat little piece on there. I think I might need to equip this just for the next run. That might be a mistake. But I'm going to show you really quickly. We're not going to do the whole run, but I'll show you what happens if I can get it to happen. Is if you do not have enough HP on your nuker. For this example, those who watched the last one, you know this comp should still work. This champion, even though she's level 50, is still hitting for 1.3 million because her A3 isn't dependent on level, just gear and just gear. It's just gear and crit damage, right? But the problem with this is that because she has so little health, the spiders now ignore, and you saw it there, the spiders are now ignoring the fact that there's a weak affinity champ and instead are going for the vulnerable champ. This is also the case if you had certain buffs that make these ones less desirable than the one they normally hit. So keep that in mind that you do have to have a certain level of HP. I find 28,000 to 30,000 is about where it needs to be. Both my normal cold hearts are at about 32,000. Okay, the second way you can do this is by putting a counterattack champion in place of one of your turn meter reducers or nukers. This is going to allow your weak affinity tank to heal themselves every time they get attacked. The problem with this is I don't have a champion that I feel is the best suited for this. In this particular case, War Chief is only good because you're limiting the amount of attacks on him through the turn meter reduction and the crowd control, and of course the nuking of the spiderlings. The other method, and this is my favorite method, and this time I'm going to use my usual, and that's using Rosin as my weak affinity tank. And that's because I can cheat with Rosin. He has a defense down and weaken, which allows him to drop that weaken and just finish this up a little quicker. What I will do is I would put in Biggin. You can use Sylar or Biggin. I've used both in this. Before I had Biggin, I used Sylar for 20 all the time. But I'm using Miscreated Monster. Miscreated Monster and Sir Nick are the all-stars of Spider 20. Because they have an ability to put up a shield that's based on the damage they do. So this Miscreated Monster, this is a virtually fail-proof strat. When you have a Miscreated Monster, it's virtually fail-proof because that shield is so large, and you'll see it when he goes. Boom. Look at those shields. They're beautiful. It's like an extra 60% of their health. Right, and if it's a Sir Nick, because you can typically get Sir Nick's stats higher based on HP, and because it's 30%, it can be almost a third more of a shield. I know that I believe Sir Nick and Chosen both have videos on Sir Nick. I have fully watched Murder Inc.'s, and he does actually show where his shield is at a obscene level. Is the best I can say. Obscene. Now you see here, even though these two have lost their shield, for some reason the shield is not a condition by which they choose a different champion to attack, and then because it's on a 3-turn and my Miscreated Monster is fast enough, we're right back at it. Now, you do notice that, oh, that's close. Sometimes the spider does go there, and I think it's just whether or not Rosin lands his bog down, but even if he went there, it would take a little bit of damage, but those shield even mitigates the damage. Plus, you've got that ally protect on Miscreated Monster. The only fail condition on this one, if you do not have your team's sped tuned properly, or just bad RNG, while under the ally protect, you can kill your Miscreated Monster on the AoE from the spider. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen, and it's something you should probably be aware of. If that's the case, speed tune your team differently to ensure that your Miscreated Monster is fast enough to bring down that shield before, like in the same round that it comes down, if that makes sense. As you can see, this is going to be a 2 to 3 minute comp, but this literally cannot fail. All right, just some parting thoughts on this, on the weak affinity tank comp, and then I'm going to leave you with a final run using a hybrid weak affinity tank with nukers, where I'm going to replace most of the champions with nukers, but keep Miscreated Monster and Rosin, just to see as you build towards that nuking comp, you can still definitely use this comp. Also, full disclaimer, I say this literally cannot fail. Of course it can fail. If you've got the worst RNG in the world, it will eventually, some order of events in the cosmos will cause it to fail, but it's virtually unfailable. If you are failing with a similar comp, take a look at your speeds. Make sure that your Miscreated Monster or your Sir Nick are bringing the shield up in the same turn that you're losing it, and so that your tank is only taking a few hits, and typically that's going to have to work on some speeds, that sort of thing. Also keep in mind your cold hard accuracy, see if she's landing her turn meter reduction, see if your Biggin's landing his turn meter reduction. Those are the sort of things you want to look at. Look at accuracy, look at speed, and look at speed tuning, what order of events are going on. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm going to leave you with a hybrid strategy where I have Miscreated Monster, Rosin, and 3 nukers. It's just a little bit quicker. It's also nice because in this final show, Rosin actually loses or misses his weaken and defense down, and yet the scenario still passes. So it's a nice way to show that you don't have to have a guaranteed weaken defense down in order to pass because of miscreated monster's shield. If you did like the video, please let me know. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions at all, find me on Discord, link in the description below, or just put a description down on the video, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I am working in retail. I work in a pharmacy. I'm the store manager, so I am working a lot of hours and a lot of high stress hours. So I apologize if I don't get back to you right away, but I promise you, if you leave a message for me either way, as soon as I am fit and able, I will definitely get back to you. Most importantly, please be safe out there and make sure that you're being kind to your fellow human. And what we'll do is I'll leave it. We won't talk. We'll just let the music play, and we'll play this final round here. And keep in mind, at 500 subscribers, I will be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card, and at 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving a $100 Amazon gift card away just for getting me there. So please let your friends know. I am out. Enjoy the music, enjoy the run, and be kind to one another.
Town, from London to Taiwan, I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.